Hi, Loretta. Welcome. It's so good to see you today. You have no idea. Your face is like heaven to me today. It's been an intense weekend, an intense moon thing going on. And it's just, finally I can sit down with someone who speaks my language today and just kind of chill. So I'm excited about today, just so you know. Okay.
Oh, I'm excited too. Thanks for having me. It's funny that you say you had an intense experience. I didn't find that with the moon for me. It was very, I don't know, it just felt so good all weekend. I don't know, maybe I'm one of the different ones who I love the full moon.
Well, the funny thing is that for you, because you've done so much work, like, we've known each other for a little while now. You've just made great changes in your life. Like you've taken your entire family, moved, 3/4 of the way across the country. And, I think about when we met, and we met basically when you were really getting, down and dirty with what you really wanted to do, the whole executive coaching thing. And, that brings up something in my mind. I wanted to ask you with the executive coaching. You talk about what do you call it? You call it mindful leadership. I think that's it. Is that correct?
That's one term, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I want to ask you how it is when we coach others. How is it that you find that mindfulness for yourself? Like what have you found in your journey from when you were a little girl to now? What have you found that you've moved into for yourself in order to maintain that space for yourself in order to teach it to others?
Um, yeah, I think it's definitely, building a practice for yourself, and um, it's hard to put mindfulness into words, but I think it's, like I remember when you said little girl, it just triggered a thought in my head about when I was little. I used to just lay in my bed and no one ever taught me how to meditate. Like, I was raised Christian and we used to go to church, but that's totally different. I used to just sit in bed and I just used to lay there and I just close my eyes and I could just sense that there was like that's me in there. I don't know how you describe it. That's the language I used as a child. It's like, oh, that's me in there. And so I was like connected to that like inner feeling of myself.
So would you say that's like an innate self-awareness?
Maybe. Yeah, I think we all have the ability to just go in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and what happens as I got older, kind of did the typical thing that everyone did, go to school, get this job, take on all these responsibilities and really got my head really, really busy. And um, coaching has helped me to kind of clear the noise a little bit in my head, but mindfulness has helped me even more in terms of getting deeper in finding that's me in there again feeling.
Would you,
Um,
would you say that in your journey of, even becoming an executive coach, that certain clients are attracted to you at certain points in your life, that you not only teach them, but you learn from them? Because I've seen that in the readings that I do. Sometimes people will come to me with an issue and then I will give them the insights from spirit. But at the same time, the little part of me is like, ping. And I'm just like, wow, I think that's for me too. So, I'm always curious when people do the work like this, because when people trust us, to listen to us and what we are trying to impart upon them, we do kind of hold a sacred space. So would you say that you learn lessons along with your clients?
Definitely. I see it like my clients are like reflections of myself in a lot of ways, and whether that's something I've been through or something I'm going through. It helps, I guess, in terms of like when I hold space for that because I get it. And at the same time, you're right. Like I don't necessarily do my work in that exact moment on myself, but it is a bit of like I write it down sometimes. Like I need to look at that in myself as well because someone else is going through that, and it is like you said, the little ping, it's like it's like, oh yeah, I got that too. It's like you said, the awareness. Yeah, and it's funny because you've referred to me as an executive coach a couple times, and I do have training as an executive coach. I'm certified executive coach, but what I'm finding is as I'm doing more of this work, I'm moving more into the life coaching spiritual space and moving away from the corporate stuff. It's just not feeling as good lately. Not to say I'd never do it,
And it's
but
funny because
yeah.
I think that's a trend that we're all moving towards. Like you'll see a lot of big businesses and they're going to hire, wellness coaches and bring them in and do seminars. And so we're talking more about learning about the getting away from some of the hecticness and carving out times for ourselves. So our mental wellness is a little more broad scope, a little more healthy, a little more understanding that we all truly are connected. Right. And, I've watched your journey from when I first met you, when you were coming, here to where I am, to go to, a very renowned university for some of the stuff that you've, brought into your life. And then I look at where you are now, the continuing transformation, sort of like the butterfly, the cocoon kind of thing. And I feel like, from my perspective, from knowing you, I just feel like you have become more and more and more yourself. And if I was ever to hire someone to have them coach me, myself or my daughter, etc., someone who I care about, who I met, who first came here, I was like on the fence. But now, with I'm just like, go see Loretta, go see kind of thing, because you're so your energy, just you literally glow when you talk about the work that you do. And a lot of people who do spiritual work, we don't have to have the spiritual label. You don't have to be a psychic, you don't have to be a guru, a shaman, etc., to get people to come to you to have a spiritual experience. You don't need that label. And for you, because you cross that road between the professionalism and the everyday Joe, I think that you have much more ability and traction to attract the people who can have the most benefit, the people who miss spirit in their life, the people who don't quite realize that it's our innate birthright to have spirit join us to live a better human life. A lot of people don't, they may not realize that, or they may, but they're afraid of it because, working with our own spirituality can sometimes bring a lot of fear. People are worried, that they're crazy, these, serendipity type things. Oh my God, I called my girlfriend at the same time she was calling me. On that end, I understand how that to them is fascinating. But it's so much more than that. And so I know for you, I think if I recall correctly, you do sound healing, you do Reiki, that kind of thing. How do you bring that all into practice? When someone comes to you, how do you know which tool to use with them?
Well, it's intuition. But also it's talking to them about what drew them, because usually people kind of are drawn to certain things that either someone has told them that I do or they've seen me do, that kind of thing. So like for instance, someone came to me because they said, oh, I heard you do this thing with the tapping and it's all about loving and accepting yourself, and I'm really curious about that. So that was a big part of the work we did together in terms of the coaching work. But it's also, it's trusting the other person's intuition too. It's not about, like you said, being the guru. Like, I don't know, are there really gurus? I don't know. That's, I guess, a topic for another day. But it's about teaching people that they have this inner guru that they can trust too, their own inner guru. And so it's not necessarily about me fixing and saving anything. I just hold space and share intuitions that are helpful at times when working through the work that I do. But my ultimate goal is to get people feeling confident enough to trust their own inner knowing and know the difference between this is my fear talking, telling me I suck and I'm not good enough, versus this is my truth.